Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Let me get this straight. Tausch and Jesse are off again? Edition. This is what makes Paula get mad at me. This is not the hardest job in the world. I am extremely grateful for it. I don't take a lot of days off. That makes one of us. Edition. The live from Florida, but not from the farm, which I really want to find out about the farm progress. One of the beautiful things about having Bryan Bulaga is that if you are a football guy or gal and you want the football without the Tausch stream of consciousness, this is like getting Tausch without the nonsense. So this could be the show for you if there are times, and I know there are those of you in the YouTube comments who get frustrated by this, you would like more football and less does soap clean itself edition. And Brian's going to have to explain to me how on earth you get this offense cooking when your quarterback, who knows what he's going to be able to do between now and September 7th. Who knows what wide receivers are going to be participating in practices between now and September 7th. And oh, by the way, you start the season with two NFC contenders in a 5-day span. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can get in both the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Riley Yauk is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs we believe in better for Jesse. Good morning, Riley.
Good morning, Jason.
And from his palatial estate in beautiful Florida, our favorite Florida man, it is Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Bryan, good morning. How are you? Riley, am I the only one who didn't hear Bryan speaking?
He should be good now.
Do you got me now?
Hey!
Hi.
It's like that old Verizon commercial.
Come on, Riley. What are we doing, man? I mean, come on.
He's too busy thinking about his jiu-jitsu competition.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's too worried about getting gold. That's what he's worried about right now.
Silver medalist. By the way, so the last time the three of us were together, Riley was going into his all-valley karate competition like Ralph Macchio in the Karate Kid going up against the Cobra Kai. For those that were not part of our text chain, Riley, how did that go for you?
Yeah, it went pretty well. I took second place out of, I believe, 7 competitors. And I know you discussed this right after the fact, but my first match was a victory by forfeit. So
So what does that mean? Like, did they not show up? Did they take one look at you and say, boy, I'm not messing with this Jacob Mizorowski lookalike fella? What exactly happened?
That's what I'm saying. No, so they never weighed in. They never showed up. I was waiting. I was ready to go. We waited they gave him 20 extra minutes to show up. I was on the edge of the mat, just kind of bouncing around, waiting. They're like, now we're going to give him time. We're going to do a couple more matches, let him see if he shows up. And then he never showed. So I'm assuming he did some scouting and realized he didn't want to have to deal with me. So I get it. I understand.
I don't want to mess with this 135-pound behemoth.
Hey, 155. Let's get the record.
Is there video of your combat? Can we do like a digi only for the video crowd to see you in action? Because I personally, I don't want to speak for Bryan, but I am very intrigued to see some sort of video evidence of you kicking the crap out of some dude.
There is a video, yes. I can dig that up, and I think we can do that for Digione. We can make it work.
I don't know what that sound is that Jesse made the other day on the air, but I'm going to make it myself. I'm very excited about this. All right, we're also really excited to have Blue here. He is our cousin sub of the day. Man, you come off the bench more than you did in 2010 behind that big fella. Take me back to that, because we don't talk about the old school days very often, but I think it's instructive given how much you filled in for him twice during his sabbatical. Now you're here again. What do you remember from? I can't remember which injury it was. He had so many that he played through for so long. Old T. He had a groin. Was it a shoulder your rookie year that put him out for the rest of the season? Is that what happened?
Yep. Yeah, it was a shoulder, I believe.
So you're this fresh-faced 20-year-old kid from the suburbs of Chicago and the cornfields of Iowa who has conclusively proven during camp that he is a tackle, not a guard. And you're sitting behind two old heads, Chad Clifton at left tackle, Mark Tauscher at right tackle. You are a longtime left tackle. We see you as the heir apparent at left tackle, but then the right tackle gets hurt, and he's donezo in what turns out to be a Super Bowl championship season. So you find out that Tausch's shoulder is jacked up. Did you go in? Did he injure it in the previous game and you had to go in? Refresh our memory on that.
No. So to my recollection, he finished the game against Detroit. He hurt it against Detroit, and he finished, to my recollection, because I did not go in against Detroit. The only action I saw was the week prior against Buffalo, and Chad did like a series, and his knee hurt or something went on, and I finished out. I played pretty much the entire game at left tackle against Buffalo, and that was my first game playing in the NFL. I think I took a couple snaps in Chicago. Chad came out for a couple plays in Chicago week 1. I ran in and played 2 snaps in Chicago. And then the next week at home against Buffalo is when Chad, I think, played 1, maybe 2 series. And then I finished out the game against Buffalo. So pretty much, the entire game. And I'm fairly certain Tausch finished the game against Detroit. He got hurt against Detroit, but he finished the game against Detroit. And then I think he got it scanned and all that, and the aftermath of it was what it was. And I didn't find out he even did anything to it. Really, you know what I mean? I didn't know he did anything to it until Monday. When I think he missed a meeting or something like that. And I was like, where's Tausch at? And they're like, oh, he hurt his shoulder in the game. I was like, he finished the game. I'm like, I didn't, you know what I mean? I was a rookie, so I didn't really know much at the, he finished the game. He couldn't have been that badly hurt. Right. But then you start to understand, guys playing through things. You're young, you don't understand, and you start to grow up and realize guys are tough. They kind of push through things. So Monday goes through, and obviously I'm thinking, okay, even if he hurt it, he'll probably just miss some practice this week, and he'll be fine to go against Washington. It'll be okay. It's not a big deal. And then like Tuesday night, I get a call from Campy, and he's like, "You're gonna play right tackle against Washington. You're starting." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's wrong with Tausch?" He's like, "He's gonna be out for a while." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "All right," and like that was really the end of the conversation. Like that was pretty much it. And I hung up the phone, and I'm like, I've never taken a snap at right tackle. I've never gotten in that stance. I've never gotten in a right-handed stance before in my entire like collegiate career, high school. Like, you know what I mean? I always played on the left side of the line. Like I played left tackle in high school my senior year. I played left guard in my freshman year at Iowa, and then I transitioned to left tackle. And then obviously in camp, I played left guard and left tackle, in Green Bay. So like I had never even taken a single rep at right tackle. So he told me that, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm thinking about the playbook in my head. I'm like, I know the playbook on this side. I don't know the playbook. Like I know the playbook, but like all these calls flipped around in my brain. I'm like, my head just starting to spin, like going nuts. I like literally that night, I'm opening up the playbook, just refreshing the plays, but flipping it looking at it on the opposite side. Like we get to practice on Wednesday, and like I get down to practice super early, and just like with Jerry Fontenot, he was the assistant O-line coach at the time, and I just start like taking reps with Jerry, because like I've never done this before. Like I'm like, Jerry, I don't know what I'm like. I got to get comfortable with this before we even start practice. Like I've never done this. He's like, oh, you'll be fine. You'll get used to it. And like my Wednesday, I looked absolutely horrendous. I looked like a baby giraffe. Like I just looked so bad. And then like I stayed after practice on Wednesday, and like I did more and more. And then I watched the tape Wednesday. I felt better. Like after watching the tape, I'm like, okay, I can correct these things. Like I understand where I'm kind of at in space, because that's the biggest thing. Like people think it's like riding a bike, but it's where you feel you're at in space out of a certain like pass set. It's like muscle memory out of one side, and that muscle memory isn't there on the other side. So when you move out into space, you don't really understand where you're at. So I found myself drifting in weird areas of the pocket like that Wednesday. Like I couldn't feel where I was at. So it was good to see that on film. Then Thursday, it got a little bit better. Again, took tons of reps, dry reps, and then obviously in team. Friday, like I did the same thing. I know that's more of our jog through day, but I did even more Friday. And then I, fly out Saturday and play Sunday against Washington, against Brian Arakpo. At the time, it was like he and Clay were some of the top pass rushers in the league at the time. Those were like a couple of the two young guys that were really tearing up the league in sacks and everything like that. And that's kind of how it went. And I was nervous as all hell. Let's put it that way. I was like, this is like a couple days work, pushing off my left foot. Let's see how it goes. Like, let's see how this goes. And I had my ups and downs in that game, for sure. A couple missed assignments, a couple things in my head that I had flipped around. Because obviously, when you're under the gun, and the pressure's there, and the noise is up, and there's a lot of things happening, and you're trying to flip things in your head, and you're focused on your technique, and I made some mistakes, and that was the way it went. I felt like I blocked fairly well. Like Rakpo didn't have a sack or anything like that. I don't think he hit Aaron. But I made some mental errors, which I think, caused some issues throughout the game, which that's the way I didn't want it to go that way, but it did. But it was kind of a whirlwind, like, week, because like my head was just spinning the entire week trying to play catch up. And some people may say, well, why aren't you teaching yourself to play right tackle, or why aren't you keeping up on that? Well, because the coaches tell you what positions you should be getting dialed in at. Like that's right. They tell you, like, and what I was told to do was obviously I knew left guard because I did that in camp. So I was up to date on what I needed to do at left guard. They would never put me there because I stunk at it, but I knew what to do if I played left guard. You know what I mean? Like I knew what to do. I knew the assignments. And then obviously, like I took all my reps in practice at left tackle. I took all the reps off Cliff. Like that's what I did.
Right.
So I was like, that's what I was ready to go do, was go play left tackle if something happened to Cliff. So when they made the switch over to right tackle, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like my head was just spinning. So it was a little bit of a whirlwind. And it got progressively better. I mean, again, I had up and down moments those first 4 or 5 weeks making that switch because I went against really good pass rushers those first few weeks. Like it was Arakpo, Cameron Wake. I think we played Minnesota, so there was that group. So like it was a tough couple weeks to get it rolling, but I finally settled in and got progressively better as the thing went on.
Wow, your memory, again, unlike old boy, Washington, Miami, Minnesota, at the Jets, a game that you guys won 9-0.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then you guys blew out the Cowboys, and then you had the bye week. So,
Yep.
your old friend Josh Sitton always was proud of this because he switched, right. He went left guard, right guard a bunch, and then there was one time where they had to put him out at left tackle, and he got the job done. But he loved to talk about, and I don't understand. He is who he is, so we love him for who he is. But man, did he love to say, "Oh, it's like wiping your blank with your left hand." He just thought that was, Tausch is so proud of his analogies. That is City's go-to analogy. Anytime it came up about switching sides on the offensive line, it was the butt-wiping analogy. But, no pun intended, like, it really is, like, it's actually a really good analogy. Like, I don't want to get into anyone's personal hygiene techniques, but doing stuff with your offhand, whatever it might be, writing with your offhand, if you don't like City's analogy, it's hard. And I do think it's interesting because, and this is why I wanted to revisit this, because we spent a lot of time talking about Jordan Morgan. We're going to talk a lot about Jordan Love coming up because, we finally got information on where kind of things are headed with his surgery. He's got the big cast on, but he's going to practice in some form or fashion next week. But Jordan Morgan seems to have that gene, to some degree anyway, that Elton has, that Zach Tom has, that you had to work to develop, because it didn't just come naturally to you the minute that Tausch got hurt. But are there certain guys that just have that innate ability to flip it in their brain and be effective? Because I've talked about this with Zach Tom before, and he says, I don't understand why my brain works this way, but it is a huge advantage. Now, he's settled in at right tackle, and he got paid there, like you did and like Tausch did. But he's still that guy, and his brain still works that way, that he could move. Are there just certain guys that you played with that had that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think some guys are just able to just do those types of things on the fly. They're wired a little bit different, and I think if in college, right, like, and I think this is the big thing, if in college you were a guy that potentially moved a little bit, you're more adapt to those things. Like you're prepared for that a little bit more. I didn't move in college, right? Like Kirk put me at left guard knowing I'm going to left tackle. Like you're going to go out to left tackle next year. Like, and he actually had told me, like, I should have put you at left tackle your freshman year, but I didn't know if you were ready or not. So like my whole freshman year, I was on one side of the ball. I was in one stance. I didn't take sets or do anything on one side of the ball. So like for 3 years and how many thousands of reps I took in college, because like I didn't, in high school, I decided I'd help the team out and play left tackle when I was a tight end the year prior because we were short of left tackle. So I had no experience really as an offensive lineman going into college. So learning to play offensive line, I only learned it one way, right? And I only learned it out of one stance. Everything was ingrained in my head on one side of the ball. Like that's how I was trained. Some guys get cross-trained in college because, hey, they come in as freshmen, maybe they get redshirted and they get moved around a little bit or whatever it may be. So they're naturally, or just from when they come in, they're used to moving around a little bit. And then when they get to the NFL, when they're asked to do that, it's still going to be a little bit awkward. Don't get me wrong. When you're asked to go right to left in the middle of practice, it still is a little difficult. And guys will still say that too. But they're more comfortable doing it, right? And it comes as a little more natural. Like guys that did, like Sitton was one of them, right? TJ was another one that could do that. Like TJ could go back and forth. Sitton could go back and forth. I know. I'm trying to think of other guys in my head. Like Spitz was another guy that would go back and forth a bunch. Jason Spitz from my rookie year. He was the guy that did that a bunch. So there's just some guys that are just able to do it. And obviously Elton, right? Elton was kind of his rookie year. He was kind of getting moved all around until he settled at left guard, after week 1 or whatever it was when he went in. So there's some guys that are just used to it and they're ready for it. And, that's kudos to them. And I know Goody wants guys to be cross-trained, right? Like that's good. That's good for certain positions, right? Like certain things, that's okay for guys to be cross-trained. And I've gone into this a bunch. But sometimes you need specialists, right? Like sometimes you need guys that are this. They are like, this is what he is, and that is what he's going to be, and that's where he's going to stay, right? Like, obviously, they tried to shift me out to left tackle in 2013. I was having a good camp, blew my knee out. Hey, you're going back to right tackle because Dave stepped up and played really good. Hey, it is what it is. My body was still I had adjusted to left tackle, but getting over back to right tackle, that was the knee I tore, was my left knee. So pushing back off that knee took a little while, to get ready for that. But my body was used to it already. So I was comfortable moving back over to the right after doing a whole summer of left tackle to readjust. There's guys that are just specialists, and that's what they are, and that's what they should be. Not everyone can be cross-trained, right? Because not everyone can do that. Like some guys are just have it in them. And it doesn't make a
Monk
guy
isn't a guard.
Yeah, like Jacob Monk. Yeah, he's not a guard. I would like to see him get more center, right? Like, I mean, I really would like to see him start at if like this week if Elton's obviously not going to play, right? Like, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Like, if the two line or a mix of the lines are going to go out, I would like to see Monk at center, and if you're going to play Sean Ryan at right guard next to him, right? Like that's what I would like to see. Let him have the best opportunity to try to succeed next to guys that are starters in the league too, right? Like, let him have an opportunity to see how he does.
And to get him his confidence back. Like, it was, I mean,
yes.
I love you like a brother. Do I bring up Seattle and Bruce Irvin from time to time to needle you like a brother? I do. But in all seriousness, when you have a play like that, you want to be able to bounce back, and it's incumbent on your coaches to give you the chance, right, to get back into a rhythm, because we talked to him after the game, and I don't mean this in a mean-spirited way, but some of the questions he was asked and how long it took him to answer, I felt like he was holding back his emotions. I mean, he had 3 holding penalties, gave up a sack. It was a really tough day at the office. And I'll tell you this from my perspective, I don't enjoy that part of the job. I have to ask tough questions, that's part of the gig. But when somebody has a really bad day and then you have to ask questions about how badly it went, I don't enjoy that at all. There are some sadomasochistic reporters who seem to enjoy that. I am not among them, and I will not name the people that seem to enjoy that, although some of them who are retired now, they just didn't bother to talk to the guy. They just ripped him in print. All right, I want to get into some of the other things that are going on. I just thought this was instructive because Jordan Morgan is like you. He spent his entire career at left tackle, and maybe it will turn out that he's not that moving chess piece, and if he wins that left tackle job, they're going to have some specialists because that's going to create some substitution challenges when somebody inevitably gets hurt. So we'll get into that with Bryan, but more importantly, Jordan Love was at practice in Westfield, not Carmel, Indiana. He did not participate. He had a big giant cast on his left hand, but he's going to practice next week. We'll delve into that with Bryan coming up. Want to remind you that even though Tausch isn't here today, I'm a proud Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin customer, and if you want to be one, you can get the long-lasting comfort and reliability that make it easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation, rigorously tested for quality and performance to last for years, and built to create long-term energy savings. Our biggest window in our house is a big, beautiful Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin bay window, and we love everything about it. And if you order by August 31st, you'll get 0% interest for up to 5 years. So visit PellaWI.com today to find out more. More with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, training camp practices and preseason games are great opportunities for the guys up in Green Bay to make sure they're fully ready for their regular season performances. And if they didn't work on things before the games count, there could be some big mistakes that happen in the regular season. Same goes for car maintenance. Get your vehicle checked before you go on a long road trip or an issue comes up during an important, busy time in your life. And there is no better vehicle service team than the team I trust over at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up. Check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on the fun of getting from place to place for whatever your next adventure holds and not allowing vehicle trouble to disrupt you. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Fix any issues in the preseason so you're ready when it counts. When it comes to your vehicle, take my word for it and trust the fantastic team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Grassland Butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with a refreshing offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. My new friend Chris from Oostburg is one of their skilled installers who demos your existing bath or shower, removes it, and disposes it before installing your brand new dream shower. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Is our cousin sub of the day, Cousin Subs. We believe in better. And Brian is as good as it gets. We're lucky to have him in our rotation. All right, Brian, speaking of rotations, we'll get back to the offensive line and your thoughts on that, because that is your area of expertise. But I was getting some grief the other day about being an alarmist. And I don't think that I'm being chicken little, but I'm going to defer to you on this, because yesterday Jordan Love does not practice, obviously. He's got his hand in a cast. Now, they were very vague about what his practices could look like next week, but they do intend for him to practice in some form or fashion. It's impossible for me to imagine them putting him out there against the Seahawks in the joint practice and putting him out there in the game. There's no upside. All there is risk to me for those. But, and I joke about this, but it's true, like, if they have to play without Jordan Love and without 5 of their 6 top receivers, they're not going to do very well. That's the brilliant analysis that I'm here to provide. But if all those guys, because look, none of these are catastrophic injuries, right? Romeo Doubs is back. There was a chance he was going to practice yesterday, according to LaFleur. Jaden Reed's out of his boot. Didn't practice yesterday. Dontavion Wicks, it's been over 2 weeks now with the calf. And again, they also have a calf injury that Xavier McKinney sustained, and Xavier McKinney is going to be ready for the opener, absolutely, according to Goody. Now, Christian Watson will not be ready for the opener. He is starting on PUP. He's got to miss at least 4 games. Goody made it sound like he's going to want to play after those 4 games, and the team is probably going to try and hold him back. Okay? And then Savion Williams, I'm not saying that he is experiencing Marshawn Lloyd 2 electric boogaloo, but he had off-season shoulder surgery after his time at TCU, so he was in a red no contact jersey and limited throughout off-season. Then he gets a concussion during the pre-padded practices, so he's in and out of the lineup because of that. Now he's got apparently a hamstring. So those are your 5. You got basically Matthew Golden and a bunch of guys, and McCole Hardman, and a bunch of guys that you weren't really intending on doing anything other than taking reps, right? I mean, all kidding aside, maybe they do need to have Bo Melton start taking some wide receiver reps along with his corner reps. Bottom line, though, Brian, is all these guys should be back by September 7th. The question is, how do you get them in a rhythm together if they've missed this much time? And is that something that is a concern, or is that something that I am just blowing out of proportion?
No, I don't think you're blowing it out of proportion because, I mean, it's a real question. And I don't, quite frankly, I don't know how you're going to get all of them in sync when we don't really know when Jordan Love is going to be back and practicing, right? Like, listen, I understand that it was not a bad injury or a big surgery or anything like that, but like, what's the point of like pushing him and potentially putting him out there next week when, like, he's got a cast on right now, and I mean, I don't know what he's going to do next week, but regardless, it's probably not going to be much if he does anything. So like, let's just like call that what it is. And then the way these receivers come back, as they get healthy, who knows how it's going to be, right? It could be like one guy and then randomly, but how that times up with when Love is fully back and throwing and everything like that. So I don't know how they get on the same page, as a group, like everyone and, with the quarterback and those guys that have been out. And I don't know how you get that. I mean, you're going to have to do it with a lot of timing things once you get into that, week before the game and then the game week. You're really going to have to a lot of 7-on-7 and, dry reps and things like that, routes on air, just to get certain timing things down, because like these are the reps right now, like when the joint practices and things like that, those are valuable reps because you're doing them against other teams' ones, and you can see things in real time, right? Like how it's happening and how you would see it in a game, because you're going against another team's, starting group, and it's highly competitive, and that's how it's treated. It's treated almost like a game. And if you're not getting those reps and you're just getting, and I'm not diminishing practice reps, but practice reps are not the same as joint practice reps. They just aren't. I mean, just call it what it is. So if you miss those reps, you got to find ways to get even more reps in practice and all that before Detroit, right? Like, and you're gonna have to find that, in that week and some change before you go out there against Detroit. And to me, like, this would be the time now. Like, if I'm having my say, I am grinding as hard as I can on this run game and play action game to the tight ends. And obviously, you got to have to, Golden's still doing his thing and getting his, feel for the offense and all those things. So you still got to make sure he's getting what he needs, obviously. But I am, really making sure that my run game and my play action to my tight ends are feeling really, like, I'm feeling really good about that. Because if you go into, at least when all these receivers and Jordan Love get back, and that part of your offense is doing really well, you can then, it can help you, ease into the passing game, right? Like it can help you, maybe relieve a little, burden that the pass game isn't fully there yet, so to speak, right? And I know we needed to be there week 1 against Detroit. I know, you need to have all facets going. But when this many guys are down and the quarterback, and they're not taking reps and they're not practicing, it's a big ask to have it look like you want it to week 1, right? It just is. It's a big ask. So you got to do with the guys that are available right now, and that's the offensive line, that's the running back, that's the tight ends. Get these guys tuned up and get that part of your offense looking the way you want it to. Because if you got that part rolling, then you can start integrating back the receivers. And obviously, Jordan, as he gets back, to start orchestrating that. But you got to have at least one part of this thing humming by the time these receivers get back before week 1.
We will see exactly what that looks like, but I agree. I think you're going to get, and again, I'm sure that the Detroit Lions are thinking this way too, because they're paying attention to this stuff. They're probably expecting a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs and 2 tight end sets, right? That's what I would be expecting from them. And, you obviously have to prepare for everything, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, I want to get into what exactly is realistic to expect for Jordan Love. You did not play quarterback, but you played through your share of injuries. And I think it is important that he made it very clear that had this happened during the regular season, he wouldn't have had the surgery. He would have played through it. So we'll get into that coming up. I don't think he has any litigation opportunities against the New York Jets for injuring his thumb. But if he did, there'd only be one call to place, and that's to Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666, or go to the website gruber-law.com to find out more about the firm, about all the great lawyers that are there, about everything David does with his team in the community. Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all. More with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Something special is cooking in Milwaukee.
You have to be hungry and play with a chip on your shoulder. Those are the guys that Murph loves. Those are the guys that the Brewers have.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home & Lindsay Paints. Well, whether you're moving into a brand new space you want to make your own, or if you're just ready to upgrade the space you've been living in for a while, you'll want to make sure it's painted right. And when that time comes, do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Home & Lindsay Paints. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Home & Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Home & Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Get connected with the pro painter best for what your project calls for by stopping into any Madison area Home & Lindsay location and simply ask for a member of the team. Home & Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at homeandlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home & Lindsay Paints.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's no second chances. There's no do-overs. We're definitely primed to take that next step. That's the focus and the goal.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, pain to get to where you want to go.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Green Bay Packers' Thursday joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts is in the books, and head coach Matt LaFleur shed some light on how the plan for the practice came together with Colts head coach Shane Steichen.
It's pretty easy to pick up the phone and make a couple calls, and we adjusted some things on the practice schedule, and yeah, he's great to work with.
Despite missing their quarterback and 5 of their top 6 receivers in Thursday's joint practice, the Packers still went ahead and did it, and they'll do it again Saturday as it's Colts and Packers preseason game number 2 kicks off at noon from Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm Alex Rowe.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals help fuel my love for acting. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Football is back, and Forward Madison FC is celebrating Green and Gold Night on August 16th, featuring Green Bay Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher Amon Green. Get a green and gold Forward Madison jersey, match ticket, and more with 3 ticket pack options available. It's Forward Madison FC versus FC Naples at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 16th. Visit forwardmadisonfc.com to purchase your green and gold ticket packs today. That's forwardmadisonfc.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip.
Unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see, Green Bay is going to run this thing back, and you hope that these other guys will emerge.
Available in Apple and Android app stores. Your one-stop shop for ESPN Wisconsin. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download it today.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well, born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Continuing with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. All right, you played your entire Packers career with Aaron Charles Rodgers. In 13, when he broke his collarbone, you were out with your ACL. And then, did you tear your ACL in 17 also?
Yeah, I tore it like week 9 or something like that.
So you did play with his backup in 17, Brett Hundley, for a period before you also. You guys, his collarbone and your knee were on the same schedule almost.
Yeah, essentially, on the same timeline.
So you obviously remember him playing through injuries, and I don't think. I know that our buddy Kyle Wallace on KBN took a lot of heat from people who didn't agree with his take, and I'm among them, by the way, and I told Kyle that on their show. I don't think Jordan Love qualifies as injury-prone. This was something that he would have played through during the season. He came back from an MCL tear after missing only 2 games. I respect that. I don't think that there is in any way, at this point, can you say this about him. Had the groin injury in Jacksonville, was back the next week. He didn't miss a game. He missed a half. So I think that's I thought that was a little bit of a harsh criticism. That said, the only way you get better at football is playing football. And there has been a little bit of a dismissiveness about the missed time that he is undergoing during training camp. Fine. My concern, if I'm a Packers fan, is, as we just discussed, getting on the same page. But how do you get him back, Brian? Like, you did return to play stuff when you came back from various injuries. Like, how do you think they're going to approach this next week? What exactly do you want him doing? Because the last thing you want to do, and he said this yesterday, is go out there too soon while you're still healing and jack up your thumb again. And now the point of having surgery has been ruined, Jerry, because you're now back to square one.
Yeah, I don't know what the return to play protocol for that even is, right? I mean, like, to be honest with you, because of the nature of the injury, right, and him saying if this was in season, he probably just would have taped it and played with it and all that, which I get it. I mean, and that's the thing. I don't think the guy's injury prone. Right? I mean, listen, things happen in the NFL, right? Like, guys get hurt in the NFL and guys get rolled into. I mean, it's part of the gig, right? It's not like he continues to suffer of, like, I don't know, like weird little dumb things that that you're like, come on, man, like you could take care of this, or if you did this to your, like, that's not happening to him, right? Like, I don't know what happened to his thumb or what play it happened on, but chances are Jets D line like fell on it, or it got trapped in something, or it got caught on a face mask, and that's what happened. Like,
so I think what happened was, and it is funny because me being a helicopter parent and beat writer, I asked him about the sack after the game, which it didn't look bad, right? Like, you watched it, it didn't look bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I had this flashback to Brazil because he got spun around a little bit, right? They got kind of wrapped up by the midsection, and I asked him, I understand you can't play to not get hurt, but at the same time, you have to be smart. And he admitted, look, I should have gone down. Like, he did that jump cut to create space, and then he got sacked. He should have just gone down, right? Well, it turns out that he injured the thumb. If you watch the play again, he takes his left hand and kind of stiff arms into one of the helmets of one of the pass rushers. I think it might have been Will McDonald. That and that must be where it happened. It like overextended or got bent funny or whatever it was. And that goes back to, is the juice even worth the squeeze for preseason games when something like that is, because it's a fluke thing, right? Total fluke.
It is.
So
I mean,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously he has to, like, a protocol has to be that he's able to take snaps under center, right? Like, and getting under center and having that ball smack that bottom hand where that thumb is, and making sure that it's, he's comfortable. Like, that's a significant thing. Like, maybe people don't think about that, but that is huge. It's not just, being able to grab it, spin it, grip it, and throw with his obviously his right hand. But he's got to be able to get under center and take snaps. And like, that has a lot to do with the left hand and getting that underneath. So, I don't know exactly, right, like what the trainers will have, like, return to play. But you're right. You don't want him to go back out there, like, say, Monday, and the cast is like, there's just no point to it. I would just, if you're going to have him return, which he will sooner than later, obviously, just have him come back after the Seattle week, right? Like, let him rehab this whole week. Let him, once that cast comes off, let him rehab, let him re-strengthen everything. Let him do all that, and then he returns, right? And then it's full go, ready to go for Detroit. Because you're right, that's the last thing you want. Come back too early, a ball or something hits that, and we're back to where we were, after the Jets game. There's just no point to it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but my guess is with the training staff and the doctors, knowing how they operate, they're going to be cautious, would be my guess. Very cautious.
All right, I want to get into, now I was not in Indianapolis yesterday, or Westfield, or Carmel, as Tausch called it randomly. But the reports from the joint practice were basically that the Packers defense cooked the Colts offense, and the Colts defense cooked the Packers offense. So we will get into that coming up, because, again, these, and I want Brian's feedback on this, these are becoming the new preseason game, these joint practices. These matter more than the games themselves. You're able to do more stuff, so I want to get Brian's thoughts on that as well. We'll talk about that coming up. Quick text from Matt Coonan. I want Jordan nowhere near a joint practice, but can Brian explain to a couch coach why Jordan can't slap on a Nick Perry-style club and be out there for drill work?
Yeah, I mean, he could do it to be out there for conditioning, right, and to keep his wind up. But we all, like quarterbacks, we all see how they, even in the shotgun, they receive the ball and they spin it in their hand, how they set it in their hand. Like, he needs both hands to operate, right? Like, he's got to be able, like I said, he's got to be able to get under center and receive snaps. He's got to be able to give handoffs, and you give handoffs with your left and right hand, depending on which way the play is called. So he's got to be able to use both hands at all times. Like that's part of the gig as a quarterback. So until he's 100% comfortable doing that, right? And listen, like when you hand off a ball and Jacobs is running 100 mile an hour at you, there's your thumb's gonna get hit, like right, like your hand is getting put inside his midsection, and it's gonna get hit as you're giving him the ball. Like I mean, so you got to make sure that you're 100% comfortable that thing is healed or is healed that it's going to get ready to go. But from a conditioning standpoint, like yeah, that's probably. I mean, he'll have however they wrap it or whatever they do, because he's got to keep his wind up, right? He's got to be able to stay conditioned and all that. So that's what he'll probably be doing this next week is when he returns to training or practice, it'll be conditioning would be my guess. Maybe someone will hand him a ball with his right hand and he'll do some throwing, but I just don't see him, getting snaps fired back at him and him catching with nothing on and doing that. I don't see that happening.
We will see when he addresses us next week, but I'm intrigued by this as well. I've also been intrigued by the Quick Trip Mountain Dew Quick Climb. I've been playing every day. I've got all kinds of grand prize entries ready, and I'm sure you're playing as well, where every sip gets you closer to the summit. Now through August 17th, so the contest only has a couple of days left. You can play each day for free in the Quick Rewards app. You do a little scratch off with your finger, and you score bonus plays with every eligible item you grab, like an ice-cold Pepsi, Bold Mountain Dew, hydrating Gatorade or Propel, sparkling bubbler drinks. You know how much I love those. Smooth Starbucks, refreshing Pure Leaf, and the high-voltage taste of Rockstar. That's not my thing. I'm more of a bubbler guy. Pair one of those with hot food, and boom, you've got 2 bonus plays. Every week, someone's cashing in because each week the cash prize climbs by $5,000, stacking higher and higher until one player hits the ultimate payday, $250,000 in cash. And when I win, I'm still going to come to work the next day. So open your Quick Rewards app. Get climbing, because this summer the view from the top is worth every play. Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. See full rules at QuickTrip.com/sweepstakes. Quick Trip, they get it. Fill up, fuel up, and grab everything you need. We'll see you next time. More Wilde and Tausch with Bryan Bulaga next. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Toscher here for Pizza Hut. And you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. What's in your summer survival kit? A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends: meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Back to the core roots. The Badgers hoping for a bounce back in the ground game. Bucky's rushing attack hardly averaged 150 yards last season. Expect to see a boost under new offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. Big Ten Network's Jake Butt with insight on how Wisconsin and Grimes can use the run to its advantage. Audio courtesy BTN.
If you can run the ball, suddenly you dictate the terms of the game. You keep your defense fresh. Another key point is explosive plays. Now you can get into play action. So I think the hiring of Jeff Grimes is going to have ripple effects that don't just turn around the offense, but the whole team.
Grimes, the mastermind behind a Kansas squad who finished as a top 15 rushing unit last season.
For long-lasting comfort and reliability, our craftsmen make it easy to trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 5 years at PellaWI.com.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
All hail King Von.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center! Bye-bye baseball! You have got to be kidding me!
Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
Get into the joint practice at the top of the 10 o'clock hour because the Packers in my inbox have announced their weekend plans throughout the 2025 regular season. Now, kickoff weekend, which I believe the Black Crows are playing before, is also Packers alumni weekend. Does that mean that we will be seeing your smiling face in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the opener against the Lions as they celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Super Bowl 45 team?
No, I will not be there.
Dude, I don't mean to be whatever, but that delivery was outstanding. Soccer tournament?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I do have one of those, and we just couldn't make it work. With the flights and there's obligations that were required that I just couldn't uphold to and things like that. And
okay. Enough said. I don't want to put you in a spot where you have to explain how difficult you are to work with for the Packers. I get it. You're a diva. Just admit it.
No, it's not even that. I just because I would have had, I think it's kind of like a week-long thing that I'd have to leave, and then with the kids in school, and then obviously there is a soccer tournament that week, and I think my she's playing rec soccer, and that kicks off that weekend. So my wife alone with a tournament and my daughter it's almost it can't be done. It's just
You're
the way it
talking
goes,
to the right guy.
right?
I'm with you.
Yeah,
you're making the right choice. You got my full support. Now, for Packers fans that aren't alumni like yourself, a couple of other highlights from the schedule. The Thursday night game against the Commanders, which is 5 days after that opener, or maybe 4, after the opener against the Lions, will be the winter warning whiteout uniforms. Is Bryan Bulaga pro or con on the all-white unis?
Personally, I don't like the all-white unis and that's as a lineman, right? Like, that's as an O-lineman. There are some guys that look really good in them, right? Like, some guys, like, make them look really good, and they look really slick, and guys, they look good. Linemen, it's not our cup of tea. We'll just put it that way. It's not our bag.
So that is for the Week 2 game on Thursday Night Football against the Washington Commanders, that it will be white out winter warning unis. Now, for the one that really matters most to one Bryan Bulaga, Week 9, November 2nd, a noon start against the Carolina Panthers. They will unveil their 1923 classic uniforms with Brian's favorite helmet, the hand-painted leather helmets and uniforms. So I assume you will rearrange your schedule for whatever it takes so you can be there in person to see those unis and those helmets up close.
Yeah, those, I definitely want to see those up close. And it's funny, and again, I like the jerseys and everything. Like, I think the jerseys are good. Like, I think those are clean. I really like them. But it's funny how, like, those get put at the noon kickoff against the Panthers, like the most insignificant team, like, on the schedule. Yeah, I mean, and again, every game's a big game, right? Like, let me clarify that. Every game's a big game. But if you were to look at their schedule and look at, like, who, like, big games, right? Like, you look at, like, the first 2 weeks. Those are big games, right? Those are giant opponents, right? I wouldn't put the Carolina at a noon kickoff, like, as, like, like a showcase of the throwback unis, right? Like, that's not really, to me, if you're trying to, like, show these things off, like, the game to do it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, maybe my logic's way off. Maybe I'm way off on my logic.
You're just a hater. It's okay. Just own it. But no. You would think I'll be honest, I thought that it would be for, like, Monday Night Football against the defending Super Bowl champs. That was what I was expecting. And I was wrong. Completely wrong on that. So
why not against, like, a divisional opponent? Like, I feel like the Bears have worn their throwbacks against the Packers a bajillion times. That would make sense. They're another historical franchise. The Panthers, an expansion team. I don't understand.
Yeah, will. I'm just excited for Brian to get his gear. I can't wait for the Packers to send him, like, a
free leather helmet
as a gift. Yes, just for his unwavering support of the new unis.
I do. Again, I will say it loud and proud. I think, those Illini uniforms are gross. Like, those things are disgusting. I mean, if you're listening, they just showed the Illinois uniforms. But the jerseys are really good. Like, again, I liked, in my time with the Packers, all our throwback unis, like the jerseys, like, I always thought they were really clean. I thought they looked good. There was never one that I thought was like, ooh, like this jersey is gross looking. I always thought they were really good, and there's no different to this one. I think this one looks really good. Again, I just don't like the helmet. I'm just not in on the helmet, and that's just what it is. And I understand they're hand painted or whatever they are, and there's a lot of effort and time into it. I'm not saying it doesn't take skill, and someone didn't put a lot of TLC into it. I just don't like it, and that's just what it is. Like, that's it. That's it.
All right, you've made your position clear, and we appreciate your honesty. I'm looking forward to seeing these helmets up close. I'm hoping maybe I can try one on. And if I do, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you. All right, we need to get to the 10 o'clock hour. We need to talk about what happened yesterday in Indianapolis. We'll do that in 2 minutes. It is Wilde and Tausch with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Brewers are back in action today after some well-earned rest yesterday. The best team in baseball will look to make it 13 in a row against the surprisingly surging Cincinnati Reds, who find themselves only a half a game out of that last wild card spot. No starter has been named yet for the Crew, although it has been speculated The Miz could make a short start today. Regardless, first pitch is scheduled for 5:40 p.m. Central Time, with pregame coverage beginning at 5:05, following an extended Kyle Bruston-Nortman right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. The Green Bay Packers are only a day away from their second preseason tilt against the Indianapolis Colts. Tomorrow's kickoff is slated for noon Central. Plenty more discussion about that game and the green and gold coming up next on Wilde and Tausch with special guest Bryan Bulaga.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
With Bryan Bulaga in as our cousin sub of the day, and Riley Yaukin as our cousin sub of the day for Jesse rolls on. All right, Bryan. So you had the joint practice in 19 with the Texans, and then you left us for the sunny shores of California. And we had COVID in 2020, so there were no joint practices that year. And then 2021 was your last year in the league, right?
Yep.
Did they do any joint practices in 21, or were we still COVIDing? So it was just you guys with your fellow Chargers?
No, we had a joint practice with the 49ers.
Okay. What is the best thing about doing those, and what is the drawback, if there is any?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing is the actual when things don't erupt, like majority of joint practices do, not all of them, when things don't erupt into chaos, right, and both sides are handling the session as they should, right, as professionals, and both sides are trying to get good work in, And it's a clean practice. No one's doing anything cheap or dirty, because the minute one thing happens, right? Like the minute a guy feels like a defender or an offensive guy takes a dirty shot on one of their guys, the rest of the practice is going to spiral, right? So like that's just the way it goes. And it could be something that was innocent, right? Like it was a mistake, and like guys are, oh man, I'm so, like, but it's always going to, it's going to spiral. Like it always happens. It happened when I was in LA. That practice with the 49ers, I felt like there was a fight every 10 minutes. Like it was nonstop, just stopping practice, breaking things up. Like it was just a constant thing. But the benefit, if practice goes smoothly, is you get realistic looks against opposing defenses that you're just not seeing every day, right? You're getting to go against another team's ones. And the closest thing to live action without tackling and things like that as you're going to get before you go out there week one. Because in all honesty, obviously the Jets played their ones in preseason. But for the most part, teams don't play their ones, right? And the chances both sets of teams are going to play their ones in a preseason game, it's not likely, right? Your teams are more inclined to have all their starters do the joint practice, right? Like they're more, so you're going to see the full array of players in the joint practice, and you get to go against another team's best in that scenario, which is good for everyone, right? You get to test yourself against another team's best and go watch the tape and see how you're progressing as an offense and defense, etc. So that's the upside to it. The downside to it, like I said, are the fights and the stupid things like that. And where guys, I think, sometimes look at them as a negative, because they, depending on how long the practices go and how many periods there are within the practice, you're looking at, move the ball period, whatever it may be, and how many plays you get throughout that session. Say you run 45, 50 plays and the ones end up taking 35 to 40 plays, man, it's almost half a game, or a little more than half a game, right? And guys feel like, man, we just played almost a game out there. Like that's where guys sometimes feel like the drawback is, because it is more physical than a normal practice, because you are going against another team's, ones. Like it's not against your own team. And people will think, well, it should be physical when you go Packers versus Packers. Yeah, sure, it's physical, but it's not to that level. It's not the same. That's why guys think it feels like another game you're playing in a practice, because another team's coming in there, you're going to another team's place, and it's like it's game on, man. Like that's what this is, and that would be what I think guys think is the drawback from it. But if guys act as professionals, right, and you're able to get good work in, and there's no, guys being knuckleheads and starting fights, and the practice goes clean, then there's a lot of benefit to it, in my opinion.
So I remember that Texans one, somebody, I can't remember who it was that got cheap-shotted by a safety for the Texans. I was trying to look while you were talking in my archives, and I can't find it right away. But you did 2 days. And the first day was fine, and then the second day, as you put it, spiraled big time. And I believe they even stopped practice early because it was getting so ugly. So the trend now is 1 day, then a day off, then you play that team in the preseason game. And it seemed, from all reports yesterday, that there were no issues in terms of behavior, right? I mean, I think the Bengals, was it 2 years ago? The 23 preseason, the Packers went to Cincinnati, and Elton got kicked out because he got into a fight. I think there was one where, was it Myles Garrett or Aaron Donald? Somebody was had somebody's helmet and was swinging it around. Yeah, we don't want that. But So they avoided those types of issues yesterday, but we talked earlier about the Packers offense. I'm not losing belief in Malik Willis, but he had Matthew Golden and a group of guys that we don't anticipate being on the 53-man roster at wide receiver. The defense had its way with the Colts offense. They had, I think, 3 interceptions. They forced fumbles. It sounded like they had a very good day. My question again for you, Brian, is, last year they had the Baltimore Ravens come in. Baltimore Ravens, pretty good offense. MVP quarterback. Colts, Anthony Richardson, when those tiers of quarterbacks came out on The Athletic earlier this week, I mean, again, he's the guy that came out of the game because he was tired, which did not go over well last year. So how much stock would you put into a dominant performance by the Packers' defensive starters against the Colts group?
I think you have to. You got to give them some credit, right? I think. I don't think I read into it too much. If you're looking at it from a, from a pass game standpoint, if how dominant they were, I guess I don't give too much stock into that because obviously Anthony Richardson is not the elite passer at this point in his career that, we would just say Lamar Jackson is, right? They're not that type of offense, so to speak. But how they were able to, I guess, rush the passer is a really good sign, right? That's something you could look at. And obviously how they stacked up against the run. It sounds like from all phases of defense, they were really good, right? So, and that's kind of the way the Colts operate is they run the ball well. They have a fairly decent offensive line from I don't know all their starters, but they have a pretty good interior line. They run the ball. So if they were able to do a good job, stopping the run in that practice, which we all saw, was probably a point of emphasis after the Jets game, would be my guess after kind of what we saw in those first couple series against the Jets, and the Jets kind of had their way running the ball. And if you look at Anthony Richardson and what he's probably able to, I don't watch a bunch of Colts, so I can't really comment on the style of offense. I did play for Shane Steichen my first year in LA, so I know Shane. Great guy, by the way. Phenomenal guy. Obviously Matt coordinating a practice with him. I'm not shocked no fights happen because Shane is a really good guy. I think a really good football coach. So that doesn't surprise me that nothing broke out there because Shane's good. But I would imagine that the way Richardson does things is probably very similar to the way the Jets do things, right? They probably try to get him outside the perimeter and break contain so he can have that run pass option. And that's what kind of stung Green Bay last week, right? And the Colts have a good running back. So you have those threats that you can get beat a couple ways. And obviously it sounds like Green Bay's defense, figured some things out from the Jets to going to Indy and playing the Colts, which I think is good, right? That's what you needed to see from those first couple series against the Jets to what they did against Colts. So there's some positives. Now, to say they picked them off 3 times, okay, all right, that's good. You should, right? I think if you're pressuring Richardson that much and he's throwing balls in the air, you should be able to snag a couple of those and bring them down, right? And that's good. But again, if our D-line's doing their job, you should be able to do that to a lot of quarterbacks. If you're harassing quarterbacks and they're having to just force balls down the field and it's jump balls, you feel good about our defense bringing down a couple of those. So, that is a good sign in itself. But I look at it more from what they did in the run game because I think the Colts have a good run offense, and they obviously did a good job with that. And that's something I think they could take home, back to Green Bay with them.
Packers and Colts play tomorrow at noon. Is it just me, or is that a weird time for a preseason game?
Well, you know why it's weird? The NFL is going to try to compete with the opening day of the Premier League. and they're probably not going to do well in the States with that. Like, they're just not. Like,
certainly
it's
not with
opening
games
day
that don't count.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. It's games that don't count, and then the opening day of the EPL. Yeah, it's just I don't understand the noon kickoff times. Like, I don't get that, right? Like, start them at like 3:00 or
that's
something.
what they do next week with the Seahawks game. So who does your club? What is it? Tottenham Hotspur? That's your team, right?
No,
just kidding.
No.
You're a Manchester City guy, right?
Yes.
So who does Man City start with tomorrow?
The Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves.
I think I learned about them watching Ted Lasso season either 2 or 3. All right, well, good luck to them. They've got that guy that kind of looks like Clay Matthews, right? Their big stud scoring machine.
Oh, Man City, Holland.
Yeah,
he's got
Does
the
he
long
look a
hair.
little like Clay Matthews? Am I wrong about that?
They got the hair. They got the hair.
All right. This has been your soccer minute on Bulaga and Tausch. All right, we need to play trivia. It is not about soccer. Riley, did you do these yourself? Did you get the clear go-ahead from the tyrant that is usually in charge of trivia, Jesse Nelson?
Yes, I did. These are all my questions, my category. I picked the Indianapolis Colts since the Packers are playing the Colts. I went with the low-hanging fruit.
Were you wearing your Goodwill Eric Dickerson hat that your uncle or dad
My
or
godfather
grandpa got you? You were not wearing that hat while you were writing this?
No, I should have, though. May have helped with the inspiration. I should have done a trick question. Who is my Colts hat autographed by? That would have been good.
All right, since this is your show, what caller do you want?
Let's go number 18, caller 18 for legendary Colts quarterback Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. All right, caller 18 right now. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 18 to play Riley Yauk's Indianapolis Colts Trivia. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2026 Honda HR-V LX all-wheel drive for as low as $249 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless talk and text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text Line. This is more.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Get your team ready and spend your fall evenings with MSCR on the basketball and volleyball courts. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's adult fall volleyball and basketball leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all gender leagues are forming now for play beginning in early October at locations all around Madison. MSCR Sports Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
In the pantheon of nondescript NFL franchises, the Tausch would say unsexy franchises. The Colts are one of them, right? Like, they had that run with Peyton Manning, obviously. Andrew Luck for a period. But in recent years, and I like JT23, although does he wear 23 for them? Or does he wear 28?
28.
Anyway. They're kind of a nondescript team, aren't they? They're kind of a
little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. I mean, I think ever since Luck left, right? Like, I think once Andy Luck left, it was kind of, I don't know, like they haven't recovered from it, right? Like, it's just been kind of a franchise that's just kind of, they're okay, right? Like, they don't have like those years that they only win like 4 games, but like they just haven't like recovered fully from him retiring out of the blue. Like, as though it's just one of those things that I get it. It's hard when a guy like that just stops playing, right? Like a quarterback especially. But at the same time, like they've been drafting quarterbacks and it just hasn't worked out. I don't know.
The Indianapolis Colts were 8-9 last year, 9-8 the year before that, 4-12, 9-8, 11-5 back in 2020 with Frank Reich as their coach. But yeah, they've been meh. I mean, they've had a couple of seasons in there, but again, let's find out more about them while we play trivia. Let's welcome our contestant. It is Sean in Waukesha. Sean, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
We're great. Bryan Bulaga will do question 2 if it's okay with him. I'm used to my sidekick frequently just not participating in trivia. Question number 1, Sean, is this. Where did legendary Colts tight end Dallas Clark play his college football? Did he play at Iowa State, Iowa, or Bishop Sycamore?
I'm going to go with A.
Iowa State.
Iowa.
Like one Bryan Bulaga, he is a proud Iowa alumnus.
Iowa.
Did you guys play together, Brian?
No. We were pretty far apart. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's a little bit older than I am.
Just a little. All right. Question 2, Brian.
All right. Question 2. The Colts defeated the Dallas Cowboys 16-13 in Super Bowl V. Which was the first Super Bowl that was played on artificial turf, was played at night, or went into overtime?
Huh. Let's go with went into overtime.
Sean, we're off to a tough start.
Not doing so good.
That's a tough question, though. Honestly, that's a tough question.
I didn't know this. I learned something new. That was the first Super Bowl played on artificial turf, unless Riley pulled a Jesse and has incorrect information in his question, which has been known to happen with Jesse once or twice. I didn't know that. So there you go. That's one to grow on. All right, Sean, rare opportunity here. Very rarely in show history have we gotten the first 2 wrong and then gotten the third one right. So let's make a little bit of history here. Question 3. How many former Wisconsin Badgers are currently on the Colts roster? Is it 1, 3, or 5?
Oh, boy. I thought there was at least 1. I'm going to go with 3 because the Badgers are so good.
Jonathan Taylor, Tanner Bordolini, and Hunter Wohler.
He
3
did it.
is correct.
All right.
All right,
Go
Sean,
Badgers.
way to finish with a strong finishing kick, my friend. You got 1 right. That means you got 2 entries. Riley, are you cleared to also do the drawing today?
Oh, yes. Yes, I shall.
All right.
You got a shot, Sean.
All right, Sean, you got 2 entries into the Cheese Fry Helmet of Victory. Good luck, buddy. Thanks for your loyalty to the show.
Yes, sir. Go Packers.
All right, that is Wilde and Tausch trivia. Speaking of Go Packers, the green and gold game preview, during which we will hear far more. And I've been getting a few requests, by the way, both on the private talk and text line and in the YouTube comments. People want an update on Riley's dating situation. We will save that for Will Riley. What is I'm sorry?
Just said, doesn't everybody?
Could be a short update. I don't know what's going on over there. But we'll get to that in Will Riley. We will hear more from Riley, though, for our green and gold game preview, which is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Well, whether you're moving into a brand new space you want to make your own, or if you're just ready to upgrade the space you've been living in for a while, you'll want to make sure it's painted right. And when that time comes, do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Holman Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Get connected with the pro painter best for what your project calls for by stopping into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location and simply ask for a member of the team. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at holmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
All right, quick question before we get to the green and gold game previews. So our friend Joe Thomas, man, we got a lot of great offensive linemen in our stable. He sent me this hat along with some of his beef, which I got to say, Paul and the girls are headed to Auntie Vicky's place in Chicago for the weekend. So I'm on my own without the vegetarians. So I'm going to grill some of the Joe Thomas Hall of Fame beef for it's what's for dinner for me while they're gone. But I'm Riley, you're a young chap. I think I've seen 47 brand has these hats. They call them the dad hats because they've got kind of the, you curve the brim like old people like me do. This is a flat brim, and I feel very awkward.
No, I think the hat looks good. I mean, that's what's in style right now.
Yeah,
I think that's more. That's
stylish.
Definitely more of a. Does it have the mesh back? I think that'd be a trucker hat, technically. Outside, yep, it's a trucker hat. So, if you like what's trendy, that's the hat to wear.
It's not only that, but all right. So, Brian, you're not nearly as old as me, but I also remember, and there's like this new. It's fashion is cyclical, clearly, because, and I'm going to hold this up to the camera for those watching on video who are still waiting for the jiu-jitsu videos and a commercial break, but it's got this like braided like rope across the front too. Yep. I'm noticing that has also made a big comeback. Brian, I'm guessing your dad had a bunch of hats like that.
Like with the rope on it?
Yeah, like old school. Like I'm probably closer in age to him than I am to you, sadly.
Yeah, he had some old sports hats with that type of style, like that.
White Sox hats like that? What was your baseball team growing up in Chicagoland? White Sox?
Yeah, we were White Sox fans.
How's that going for you these days?
I mean, they stink. But they did get a World Series in 2005. So, like, that's supposed to keep us happy for like another 50 years or something like that. So, that's the math on that, I think.
Only 30 to go. All right, time now for our green and gold game preview.
Let's take a closer look at this week's matchup. This is the Green and Gold Game Preview.
All right, fellas, it's time for our big 3 questions for the Packers heading into their second preseason matchup with the Indianapolis Colts, starting with what is the most important storyline leading into the second preseason game, or should I say the most compelling storyline leading into this game?
Brian, you get to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I think, obviously, what I'm interested in is who's going to be playing in this game, right? Like, I mean, I think Matt Coach LaFleur has made it clear that, starters won't be playing. We don't know that for sure until they go out there. But if they don't, with the injuries that we've already had, who's going to be playing where and how's the team going to be set up? Because that's what I'm interested to see. We all obviously know Malik Willis is going to be starting, obviously. But what does the team look like around him? What does the offense look like? And obviously defensively, who lines up on defense where and who's starting? And to me, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is like what guys are available to play a full game.
Let me ask you a question before I answer then, because I do think there's going to be a mishmash of guys. And I didn't see. I have not done my requisite reading this morning. We had a few things going on. I didn't see if she did any 11-on-11 yesterday against the Colts. My instinct is probably not. But if you're the Packers, are you playing Jordan Morgan? Like, you don't have to play Zach Tom. You don't have to play Elton. But are you playing Jordan Morgan if you're deciding that, Brian?
Yeah, I'm gonna play him for a couple series to see if that trend continues, right? Like, and now he's got to go do it on the road, right? Like, so now he did it at home. Now he goes in and see how he does on the road. And I know he may not play the starters, but it's just to see if the trend of how he's been playing continues, right? That's the whole point of a competition, is to see if the consistency continues to be there. So, like, I would give him a couple series just to see if he continues to put on the same type of performances.
So I have an unpopular opinion that I have voiced many, many times over the years. I love the preseason. I love preseason games. I do. I know that is not a commonplace feeling. But, and look, it's not for guys like you, Brian. It's not. It's not for first-round picks. It's not for decade-long starters in the NFL. For those guys, I would never play them. I've made that very clear. I am not risking. I am Ted Thompson 2.0. I'm bubble wrapping my guys. And I love the joint practices for them because they're so much less likely. They're not being tackled to the ground. Yeah, you guys are mixing it up in the trenches, but it's way more of a controlled environment for me to get my reps for my guys that I see as irreplaceable. I know it's next man up, But they're the guys that I don't want to have to replace at any point this season. So those guys, joint practices, and then, hey, guys, enjoy wearing the latest sideline lounge wear on game day. I do not want you out there. But I love the preseason for the guys that are trying to keep their NFL dream alive. The guys that are the underdogs. You know, you played with a guy who is, again, one of my favorites that I covered, Lucas Patrick. Lucas Patrick built one hell of an NFL career. And he's a guy that in 2016 was in as a tryout guy. Not only was he undrafted, he didn't even get signed after the draft. And then he has a good rookie camp as a tryout guy, earns that contract, ends up on the practice squad, and then ends up becoming a guy that started a ton of games in Green Bay, and then in Chicago, and I think in New Orleans last year. Those are the guys that make me love the preseason. And so I don't know who those guys are going to be tomorrow at noon. One of the guys that I really like, who I talked to at midweek, because he's made some plays, is Cornelius Johnson. Now, you as an Iowa guy and me as a Wisconsin guy are enjoying the fact that Michigan is getting hammered by the NCAA, which I didn't even know had power anymore. But
I know.
He's a Michigan guy. And in spite of that, I kind of like him. Smart guy, interesting to talk to, and has done some good things. But we're talking about him. We're talking about Julian Hicks, if you're familiar with his work. He was on the practice squad last year. Isaiah Nayor, who they picked up. Will Shepard, who they got right before camp started. These are guys, they picked up a guy yesterday, Kawan Baker, off of waivers from the Raiders. Like, it's going to be, who's that guy? Who's that? Like, if you're just a regular old Packers fan watching the offense, there's going to be a lot of guys you don't know who they are because it's not your job to know who they are. And they're probably not going to be on the roster when the season gets here. But maybe one does. Maybe one has a moment, right, and earns a spot and makes them give him more opportunities. And whether that's Cornelius Johnson or somebody else, that is the most important storyline to me because Brian's right. Let's not do anything stupid here and get anybody hurt before September 7th. Riley, what's next?
All right, on to question 2. You guys have already talked about a few players, but who is the most important player that you'll be watching most intently on Saturday afternoon?
I mean, yeah, we kind of hit on it. There's 2, right? Like, I mean, I think if Golden plays, obviously that's important to see how he does. I don't think he'll play, but if he does play, him, and then obviously if Jordan Morgan is playing, I'll be watching that very closely too. Because if you look at the rest of the team, I mean, like, yeah, everyone. I hate to diminish anyone. Everyone's important that goes out there and plays and is fighting for their, for their NFL lives. I get that, but like, the left tackle is the remaining position battle left on this team. Like, that is it. Like, everything else you could say is essentially settled on the roster. I get injuries are a thing right now, but, I mean, you look at it, everything's essentially settled. The left tackle job is not. So, like, if one of those guys that is competing for that job goes out there and plays, obviously everyone should be paying attention to that because he's giving you a little showcase of what he's all about. And, like, that's a big story. So, like, to me, those 2 guys are what I'll be paying attention to.
So you got those 2. I'm going to have to take someone else. And again, I don't know because he's a starter. But another Iowa guy, I want to see more of Lucas Van Ness. It's kind of like the defensive version of Jordan Morgan, like trust but verify. Like, he's having a good camp. I would like to see him verify that with some more production in a game. And I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth now because this is a guy who was affected by a broken thumb all season last year. So do I really want to put him out there and potentially, and again, there's risk in everything, but potentially stunt the growth that we've seen from him by getting him hurt in a game that doesn't count? If you're LaFleur or you're Jeff Hafley, are you playing LVN tomorrow?
To be honest with you, like, I'm going to say yes. Like, there's certain guys that, and I'm not saying he needs to play a bunch, right? Like, but I think he needs to continue to go out there to keep the momentum that he has, right? Like, there's something to say, like, oh, I don't, like, we're worried about getting him hurt, but, like, I get that, but, like, there's something to be said about keeping guys rolling and letting that momentum continue to build for them, right? Like, and let him, staying hot, as they say, like, stay hot. Like, right. That's kind of what this is for him. There's certain guys in the preseason, and, like, I did it as in my third year or fourth year, I was going out there in preseason and playing. There was no question. Brian, you're playing a quarter, you're playing a half. We went out there and did it. With LaFleur, I went out there and played a half against Baltimore, LaFleur's first year. I mean, it was just the way it went. Like, sometimes you just got to go and do it. It doesn't sound like the guys are going to get extensive work, but just to keep things going, I don't see anything wrong with playing a series or two. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's my guy, then, LVN. All right, one more.
Last one from me. Besides avoiding injury, Saturday's preseason game will be considered a success if blank. Fill it in.
Obviously that it doesn't look like last week, right? Like, I mean, that's the start. Like, you can't, you have to show improvement from last week. And I get it's not going to be the starters, so that's going to be hard to tell, but it sounds as if defensively, improvements have been made, right? Offensively, we have no idea because we're down 4 wide receivers and a starting quarterback. So obviously, whenever a starting quarterback and that many guys are out, it's hard to tell. But what you want to see is growth, from the entire team, right? Offense, defense, special teams, and that you see progression from last week. And that's what the preseason is about, seeing progression from week to week. So if they win or lose, I mean, obviously it matters to the guys there, but to me, don't care. But I want to see progression. I want to see a little more, like, I don't know, a little more fight. Like, it didn't seem like there was much juice on that field. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that against Indy. And to me, that's really all I'm looking for, right? Like, obviously no injuries and a little more juice and just progression from what we saw last week.
So I want to... you know what I want to see? I want to see their offensive line effectively protect Malik Willis so he can throw the football with time to throw. Because I want to see what he can do. Because, look, we know what he was able to do last year, and he deserves a ton of credit for that. Ideally, though, if disaster strikes and he has to play again this season, you would like him to be able to do a little more in the passing game. Right, he had that huge throw to Reed in the win in Jacksonville to set up the game-winning field goal. That was huge. That was a big-time, big-boy throw. But I would like to see him have enough time. So that means Jacob Monk's got to play better. It means I'd like to see more of Anthony Belton so you can break him down for us. Like, I want to see those guys, and I want to see them play well. It's a success if that second unit of the offensive line is effective, and then it allows Malik Willis to show what he's capable of in throwing the ball to some of these guys that I just mentioned that a lot of Packers fans aren't familiar with. So that's mine for that. All right, Riley, good job on the green and gold game preview. Our Steinhoffel Sleepers of the Week. Did Jesse and Tausch remember to send theirs in?
No.
That's hard to believe. It's preseason for everyone. We will do ours, Brian's, mine, and Riley's. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you that from farm to table, there is no better product and no better taste than Grassland Dairy. Well, I think it's safe to say that Green Bay's run of quarterback success over the last 3 decades has been the best in all of football. But even more impressive than that, the outstanding run that Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter since 1904. That is 5 generations. Grassland's commitment to quality and excellence starts with the way farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of the process. They're proud to offer a wide range of reliable, delicious, nutritious dairy ingredients as they have for all these years. Butter better with better butter. There is no better product and no better taste than Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy.
It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Now I'm not a highly metaphysical man, but I know when the stars are aligned, you can't bump into a person in the middle of the road.
We roll on with Bryan Bulaga as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Time now. I don't know how many times you've gotten to play this little game that we have been playing since the show began nearly a decade ago. Time now for our Steinhoffel Sleepers of the Week.
Hey there, sleepyhead. Wakey, wakey. Okay, campers, rise and shine. It's time for the Steinhoffel Sleepers of the Week on Wilde and Tausch.
Indeed, from the people that brought you Mark Tauscher picking Matthew Golden as his Sleeper of the Week last week, it is time for the Steinhoffel's Sleepers of the Week. Brian, again, because you are our cousin sub, you are our guest, we give you the honors, Your Honor.
All right. So, my sleeper is, and I'm fairly certain he's going to play. Marshawn Lloyd is mine. So that's who I'm going to go with. If he gets reps, that would be the guy that I'm going to go with. I'm excited to see him play if he does play.
I hope for that young man that A, he does play, B, he plays well, and C, he comes out of the game as healthy as he went into it.
Yep.
I don't know if I can think of a guy whose career got off to a more unlucky start injury-wise than him. I've never seen anything like it. And so I hope that although Savion Williams is off to a start, which makes me nervous that he's got the bad luck has transformed and changed to him. So hopefully that stops for Savion Williams as well. But that's a great pick. That is an absolutely, and he is one of the guys. In fact, I'm going to do my 3 things to watch for Channel 3000 later today, and he's one of them because I think a lot of people, not just you or me or Riley, I think a lot of people in the building have been looking forward to seeing him play in games because I think they feel like he's got a chance to be a special, kind of unique type of back for them. So great choice by Brian. I'm going to stick with my Michigan guy. It pains me to do it, but Cornelius Johnson at wide receiver. Lots of opportunity in this game for a bunch of wide receivers that are little known. My second choice was going to be Messiah Swinson, the tight end, who bold strategy. I did not ever consider Messiah as one of the names for our children when they came along. Messiah Bulaga kind of rolls right off the tongue. But big dude. He's like 6'6". Like, they've kept him around on the practice squad. I think they have kind of their 4 for the active roster, but he's made some strides. Messiah Swinson, a guy to watch as well if you're sticking around in the 3rd and 4th quarters of the telecast. All right, Riley, who you taking?
I'm going to go with the guy who got an interception yesterday at joint practice, Isaiah Simmons. At linebacker, that's really the only thing I'm going off of. I was going to do Keyshawn Nixon, but that seemed at self-proclaimed CB1. I don't know how I felt about that as a sleeper. So I'm going Isaiah Simmons, linebacker.
Yeah, Tausch would have been proud of you had you chosen the number one corner. And by the way, I don't think he's going to play. I don't think any of those guys are going to be put at risk tomorrow. So good choice by you, because Isaiah Simmons. By the way, Brian, when you watched the film, did you see the play where it's the completion over the middle to the fullback? And Isaiah Simmons, that's what happens. It was bad. Like, it was really, really not good. And look, all players have those moments, and I'm not picking on him because he is an intriguing athlete. But, I mean, he's the first linebacker I've ever seen who was a number one flyer/gunner on punt coverage. He's a unicorn in terms of his ability. But when you have a snap like that, what happens in the film room?
Normally, coaches aren't there to try to embarrass you. Normally, that's done already by watching. Everyone's watching, right? So, like, you're embarrassed already, right, by what has happened. So the coaches don't try to pile on. Obviously, they make the correction. They probably ask, "Hey, what were you thinking here? What happened?" And you talk through it, and that's normally the way that works out, right? Like, they're not there to pile on because most of the time guys are their harshest critic most of the time. Right. So they don't need a coach to tell them this is awful, because the answer would be like, yeah, I know. Like, thank you. Like, I'm well aware of that. Like, so it's just a matter of, like, cleaning up. Like, obviously, he was either not fully on board with the assignment, or his eyes were bad with what he was reading. So it's a matter of, like, cleaning up those things for him so that doesn't happen again. And that's really what that session would be, to clean those things up for him. Because otherwise, like, how else do you correct that? I mean, I don't know how else.
And I'm kind of cut from that cloth myself. Like, I know I already, effed up. I don't want to relive it. I know how bad it was. So it's good to know that. Now, if it's a guy that can take a little bit of ribbing, maybe they give him a little bit of a hard time, an established guy who has one bad snap in an otherwise really good game. But that was tough for him. It was tough. All right, we need to get to the 11 o'clock hour, but those are our Steinhafels Sleepers of the Week, presented by Steinhafels. And Labor Day isn't even here yet, and yet the Labor Day sale is already on at Steinhafels, and you can shop it early, save 10% off store-wide, and take advantage of 36-month, 0% interest financing. Either one of those are options to you. And check this out. Get a queen bed for just $489, a dining table for just $599, and big savings on Tempur-Pedic adjustable base sets, up to $700 off with 60-month, 0% financing. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's go-to for furniture and mattresses, so shop in-store and online at steinhafels.com. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
This is Wisconsin Volleyball National Champion Devin Robinson. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin app. Home to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Plus, find featured content, enter contests, and more. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. The Milwaukee Brewers are back in action as well today after some well-earned rest. The best team in baseball will look to make it 13 in a row against the surging Cincinnati Reds, who find themselves only a half a game out of that last wild card spot. No starter has been named yet for the Crew, although it has been speculated that Jacob Mizorowski could make a short start today coming off the IL. Regardless, first pitch is scheduled for 5:40 p.m. Central Time, with pregame coverage beginning at 5:05 following Kyle Bruston-Nortman right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. The Green Bay Packers are also only a day away from their second preseason tilt against the Colts. Tomorrow's kickoff is slated for noon Central Time.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Wilde and Tausch begins now. And last week against the Jets, now the Jets committed even more penalties, by the way. I mean, they won 30-10, so I'm not sure anybody was spending a lot of time talking about that. But the Packers were called for a myriad of penalties as well, 3 of them on Jacob Monk alone. So, again, rooting for that young fella to have a better day tomorrow after what he endured. But Matt LaFleur said this week that one of the foci, this week was to improve from the penalty perspective as they roll into Game 2. Here's what Matt LaFleur said about his issues with the penalties.
Yeah, what's great is this is the first opportunity to have real NFL officials. So our guys, there's a lot of areas that we have to improve upon with some of our core fundamentals, certainly the holdings up front, and they've still taken place in practices since then. So I want to see some of that get cleaned up.
So that was the part when I heard him say that yesterday, Brian, because after the game he was not pleased about the holding penalties, and then he watched the film and he said that, maybe a couple of them he didn't agree with. But the bottom line is that those holding penalties, as you know better than anyone, having played the offensive line for more than a decade, that stuff sets you back, man. It's hard to convert 1st and 20 or 2nd and 18, right? And so I'm curious what I don't want to say bothered me, because it doesn't bother me, but it would bother me if I was Matt LaFleur, is that he said there were too many penalties against the Jets. He said they were going to crack down on fundamentals and technique to reduce the issues with those during the course of practice during the week. And then they have Monday, Tuesday's practice, and he's still seeing the same stuff. That's the kind of stuff that drives a coach crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's frustrating. And holding penalties, I guess, you know this. You could technically call a holding penalty every play. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could throw one almost every single play. There's just the ones that get called are egregious, right? Like the guy's outside the frame, your feet are beat, and that's kind of what happened in that game. So when we look at holding calls as an offensive lineman, like there's certain ways to avoid them. And then when you get them called on you, normally you're putting yourself in really bad positions. And that starts with your first couple moves when the ball snapped, your hand placement, body angles, all those things. So like those are things that players have to evaluate themselves as they're going through practice and what they're doing to put themselves in those positions. Because like you can grind on the fundamentals in individual periods all you want, right? Like you can do all those things and the coaches could be screaming at you, hands inside, or replace your hands, or keep moving. Like they could do all that. That's fine. Like, and those are good habits to try to reinforce. But once the action's going, right? Like the coaching points are like out the window, right? You have to start reacting to what you're used to and what's going to work for you. And it's about body position and how you're reacting to the guy in front of you. And to me, that's up to the guys to watch what they're doing and make corrections on themselves. And if they're not able to do that, right, if they're not able to go back to the film and see what they're doing and then go back out to the practice field to make that correction, that's a little concerning from like the player standpoint, right? Because like guys have to do that. The coaches, they can like obviously tell them what they're doing wrong, right? Like they're clearly doing that. But and this is what I always say: the players are the ones on the field. The players have to make the corrections. The coaches can give them the corrections, but the players have to make the corrections and do the action on the field. You can only do so much for guys until it's kind of like, all right, like what more can we do to help this individual out to get his feet in the right place, or that he's taking a good initial set so that he's not out of position if a defensive lineman spins back inside or swims inside. Like it gets to a point where, you know, it's on the player and it's up to the guy to make corrections. And so I understand why he's frustrated about it.
So look, you played in the league for a really long time. So did Tausch. Tausch had like a ridiculous streak of non-holding penalties, by the way, like crazy long streak of not getting called for holding. My question is, as you went through training camps, right? I mean, you did the off-season program. I remember we've talked before. I'm sure our avid listeners remember you saying this, but you didn't want to be on the Chad Clifton big Lamborghini program. You needed work during the week. During training camp, is there a process, even for veteran guys who've done it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years like you did, to kind of get to a place with their technique so they are in position to minimize the holding penalties? Like, you know, there's only so many padded practices now. There's only so much, you know, full go in 2-minute or whatever else. Does it take a while? Because the Packers will have the NFL officials here again next week on Thursday for their joint practice with the Seahawks. And when the nice elderly fellows and some younger guys that are local officials that do high school and small college games around town are there, you guys, I'm not saying you can bully them, but they're not exactly, Gene Steratore out there, right? So is that a process for players to kind of get to where they know that their technique is not going to be flagged and they're not getting, cheating the system a little bit in practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's a process and how you go through it, and obviously from day one to probably where they're at right now, you should start feeling pretty good about where you're at, right? From a technique standpoint, you've been going through camp and all these practices and individual drills and all the, team drills and everything that you've been going through. You've had plenty of reps to start feeling out your technique. And obviously you had game 1 against the Jets, right? I mean, you went out against their ones. You actually played some series against them, and you got tape now against another opponent. So, like, you should start at this point in camp feeling pretty good about where you're at from a technique standpoint. Yeah, there's going to be some things that after you watch that Jets film, Like, all right, I got to clean this up. I was a little bit, my right knee I was a little soft with my right knee. I can be a little more stronger with that in pass pro. I was drifting too close to the quarterback. Those are all things that after you see that first game tape, you could be like, okay, those are the corrections I need to make. Now I can make those going forward and progress off that. But how you're feeling and kicking rust off, those are the things you do, after that first couple days of pads, right? How I always say, the first couple days of pads, it's always the emotions are high and it's always kind of sloppy at times because guys are, playing kind of out of themselves and technique and everything. Things aren't clean. But after that, guys should start settling into playing the way they're going to play as the season starts. And when you get to this point, you should be figuring out this is I'm in good shape here. I should know what to hold. Am I holding this guy? Am I not holding this guy? Can I get away with this? Can I not get away with this? It should be pretty clear based on what you've been looking at film. Are you okay? Are you not okay? Right? And the coaches know exactly what it looks like too. So as a player, you need to recognize where you're at from a technique standpoint, and that should have been happening a week ago or 2 weeks ago. You don't have time all the way up to week one to be like, okay, now I got my technique down. Now I feel good. It took me 7 weeks to figure this out. No, it should not take that long to get this figured out, right? It shouldn't take that long. Guys that, have been doing it for a while, they have a process of how they like to feel going through it. To me, it was always, I want to feel my pass set is the first thing, my feet. I want to feel like I'm in space and where I'm at from the defender good. Once I have that, then I can start working on where my hands are and how I'm placing my hands. And then after that, it's okay, well, now I can start working on accepting power. So if I got bull rushed, how I sit down to power and take on a second move. And you kind of take camp from that perspective. And then you can look into the run game and how you fit runs and double teams. And you kind of break it down into those sections because you can't achieve all at once. It's impossible. You'll never get it done. So you break it down into sections. But that should be done by now, right? You should start to this is when you're starting to groove everything. Things are starting to feel fluid going into the season. It shouldn't be okay, I got to start figuring this out. Week one's approaching and I still don't feel comfortable yet. That shouldn't be the case right now.
All right, so you used a word there that I was about to use to tease the next conversation I want to have, and that is about Brandon McManus, because you talk about being in a groove. He has been in a groove all summer. Now, he has missed a few kicks lately. I think he's up to 3 or 4 misses all summer. But you played with one of the all-time greats in Packers history in Mason Crosby, and I want to talk a little bit of kicking with you before we get to Will Riley, when we'll get updates on his jiu-jitsu exploits and his dating exploits and maybe some other things as well. So that's coming up. Want to remind you, AmFam has been with Wilde and Tausch from the very beginning. And if you're looking for the Brewers fan experience of a lifetime, American Family Insurance is here to make it happen. Enter the Superfan Tailgate Sweepstakes for your chance to win a pregame tailgate party for you and 5 friends, complete with a private chef and a DJ. You'll also score field-level tickets, hotel stays, exclusive Brewers merch, and Christian Yelich memorabilia. Enter now at amfam.com/Brewers. That's amfam.com/Brewers. No purchase necessary. Enter by 11:59 p.m. Central Time on August 25th, 2025. See official rules at amfam.com/Brewers. More with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs. We believe in better. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
When you or a loved one are faced with an unexpected injury or illness, Stoughton Health's urgent care is there for you. Stoughton Health has 4 convenient urgent care locations for the care you need without the wait. We have urgent care locations in Stoughton, Oregon, McFarland, and Cottage Grove with extended hours to fit your schedule. Stoughton Health accepts over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan, Quartz, Humana, and more. Please visit stoughtonhealth.com for more information. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
This update is sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Play Brewers Baseball Bingo presented by U.S. Cellular for the chance to win prizes all season long. Download the MLB Ballpark app from the App Store or Google Play to get in on the action. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
So the Green Bay Packers are in Arlington, Texas, the place where they won Super Bowl 45 with a young Bryan Bulaga at right tackle, the youngest player to ever start a Super Bowl. Is that still intact? Has anyone beaten you on that yet?
To my knowledge, it's still intact, but again, I don't know. It's not like I do the Dolphins the champagne toast every time the Super Bowl ends and no one breaks it. I don't keep track of it that much. Let's put it that way.
God, I'll tell you what, between that and your Surfside reads, you have really become a full-fledged radio guy. That was great. So it's 2016. You're in the NFC divisional playoff round. The memorable Rodgers to Jared Cook completion on the sideline. I don't remember if Jared Cook, he started the year with the chicken head in his wings at a local restaurant, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, at B-Dubs, yeah.
And then he rallied and overcame that and ended up being a vital piece. Still one of the biggest mistakes. The Packers then went on a several-year search for answers at tight end. His agent screwed it up. The Packers screwed it up. He should have never gotten out the door. But he makes that catch, and now everyone remembers the throw and the catch, and Rodgers kind of in the background, kind of like giving it body language, English. He makes the catch, but there's still a 51-yard field goal to be kicked to win that game. And by the way, twice has to be kicked because Jason Garrett gets the timeout as the ball is being snapped. And Mason Crosby drills it not once but twice. Now, the one that actually counted, I don't know what your recollection is, but mine is that it started outside the posts, and I thought maybe, but you had that guy. So take me back to that moment, and then take that into what they now have, it appears, in Brandon McManus, who got here, and the first two games he kicked walk-off game winners. And after the roller coaster that is having rookie kickers, he solved that issue. What do you remember from that game first?
Yeah, I mean, that was a wild game. I mean, obviously, you kind of went through it. But before that, right before that drive, Mason kicked another field goal, I believe, to put us, to tie us or put us ahead. It was something like that, I believe. Mason had kicked a field goal prior to that drive, if I'm not mistaken. So he had hit back to that. Yeah, I think he had hit back-to-back field goals in consecutive drives, essentially, to put us, I think, like tied or in the lead, and then the Dallas kicked a field goal to put them back in the lead. Something like that, I believe.
Dude, look, I say this with all due respect for Mark Tauscher, because I love the guy. I just think the world of him. But he, again, and we don't make jokes around here about CTE. That is a serious thing that all you guys have varying degrees of worries about.
Oh, yeah.
But, he makes fun of his own memory lapses from time to time, and it's one of the reasons why the dynamic of this show is stream of consciousness Tausch, because he's legitimately worried that he has something really good, and if he doesn't say it right away, he's going to forget it. Okay?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. So, Des Bryant, with 4:08 left in the fourth quarter, catches a 7-yard touchdown pass. Dak Prescott gets the 2-point conversion, and we're all tied up at 28-28. Mason Crosby, with 1:33 to go, kicks a 56-yarder to give you guys the lead at 31-28, and then with 35 seconds to go, Dan Bailey for the Cowboys trots out and makes a 52-yarder to tie the game again at 31. And then you guys have 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that game should be going to overtime. And Rodgers hits the throw to Cook, and then Mason, 51 yards times 2, because he makes it twice, wins the game.
Yep.
So you, sir, are like an elephant. I'm so impressed with your memory. Now you may continue.
Yeah, I mean, when we went out there for it, there was, I mean, after, because he had obviously nailed the 56-yarder right before that. So, like, we knew if we got him into a certain range, I mean, there was no question, right? So it was 51 yards. Well, I mean, everyone had a pretty good idea that Garrett was going to bang the timeout and, make him do it twice. Everyone had a pretty good idea of that. But Mason was always smart. He always got the kickoff on the timeout. He always did it. He always made sure that the ball got snapped and he would hit it just to do it, to see, just to do it, to see how he felt and to see how he kicked it. And Mason always did it. Like, he never allowed the snapper to just hold it. Like, it always got fired and he always kicked it. So when he hit the first one, I looked up, I was like, all right, well, pretty good. I mean, he nailed that one, and well, this will be the exact same thing. The ball gets snapped and it gets launched, and I remember seeing it, and it started outside the post, and because I was on the right side, it started outside the post on the left side, and then it just probably 30 yards in, it just started to work its way back in, and I turned around because I knew it was going in, and it was essentially celebrate at that point because it had the leg. You could tell it had the leg on it. It was just a matter of, was it going to find its way in? And after it started to move back inside the post, it was going to stay there. He liked to hit a little cut. He was a cut hitter with his for us golfers out there. He liked to hit a little cut with his kicks. So I knew it was going to go in, but he'd been really good that year too. But for a team, offense and defense, when you have guys like they have now with McManus, when you have a kicker that you can trot out there and he can hit field goals from 50 plus and he's very accurate, it takes a lot of stress off the group, offensively and defensively, right? Defensively, they know that, okay, if we make a stop and say it is late in the game like that and the other team, they're trying to go. If we make a stop deep in our own territory and our offense only needs to get to a certain yard line because we know our kicker can nail a deep field goal, that it makes everyone a little bit more confident. They play a little bit looser, and it makes life so much easier for the play callers, right? Offensively and defensively, and for offensive coaches, knowing you only need to get to a point where a kicker, McManus has a boot, really 55 yards. Hey, we got to get this guy to a point. He could probably make it from farther, but comfortably, we got to get to a point where he can kick a 55-yarder and we're good. That's not that far down the field. If you're in a pinch of a drive, right? That's not that far. And it's a good feeling to have, man. It really is, to have those guys in their team. And that pickup last year of McManus, fantastic. And I get there was some controversy with it, right? There was controversy with it. I understand that. But from a football perspective, you said it, having two rookie kickers, and we saw how that went. You go from Crosby to the rookie kickers, and we don't know if they're going to go in ever, then to McManus, who is who makes almost everything. Yeah. It is a good feeling as players to have that type of kicker.
Yes, he had a 70-yarder yesterday, not in a live session, but hit the crossbar and went over. All right, we need to get to Will Riley. We've got some updates that we need from our young teammate. We've done a couple of shows now at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, and if you listen to the show regularly, you know that gambling is not my thing. But that doesn't mean that Hard Rock Casino Rockford is my thing. We had a great time there, and it has a lot of the things that I love. First of all, I'm always hungry, and guests can enjoy a diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Casino with the Hard Rock Cafe, the Council Oak Steaks and Seafood, the Bricked Italian Kitchen, the UU Noodle Bar, street tacos, and Constant Grind Coffee Shop. And I love music. The Hard Rock Casino Rockford showcases a museum-worthy collection of more than 500 pieces of authentic music memorabilia, including items from artists like Prince, Cheap Trick, Eddie Vedder, the Blues Brothers, and Taylor Swift. And the Hard Rock Live entertainment venue is a 23,000 square foot premium concert and event space, features more than 1,000 feet of LED screens to enhance the experience for up to 2,000 guests. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. Whoa! Riley is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Football is back, and Forward Madison FC is celebrating Green and Gold Night on August 16th, featuring Green Bay Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher Amon Green. Get a green and gold Forward Madison jersey, match ticket, and more with 3 ticket pack options available. It's Forward Madison FC versus FC Naples at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 16th. Visit forwardmadisonfc.com to purchase your green and gold ticket packs today. That's forwardmadisonfc.com.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
This is our crew.
Flair, shallow center. Here's the throw from Perkins. It is going to be in time! Blake Perkins says goodnight.
Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the
All right, it's the moment Brian and I have been waiting for. And Riley, it'll be the ESPN Madison YouTube that will get the jiu-jitsu highlights during the break on of Digi only. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
All
and
right.
actually, I think the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube stream might get it as well.
Okay, so tune in. Jesse always tells us it's only on one. So again, I don't know how that works.
I'm
That's
not sure
above my
exactly
pay grade
either, so we'll see.
I think it's also sufficient to say that a lot of times Jesse doesn't know either. He just won't admit it. Time now for both dating and jiu-jitsu updates. Maybe both. Maybe you can combine them. There are lots of attractive jiu-jitsu female fans that'll be there for rooting for you in the next one. It is time for Will Riley.
Good. The guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
All right, well, everyone will see the jiu-jitsu video after this segment. Update, I got second place, so that was awesome. Felt great about that. When it comes to the
you basically, how many matches did you win?
I won 1, but that's neither here nor there.
Just want to make sure that we're fully disclosing the information.
Yeah, technically 2, but really 1.
You beat up one guy.
Exactly,
Okay.
which was
All right.
sufficient for me, worth the experience. Really good experience. But anyways, I guess everyone's really curious about my dating life. Sorry to disappoint, but there's really not anything going on. I deleted the dating apps because I was getting sick of them. But yeah, so it's getting busy at work too. So going to start focusing more on myself and, some interior growth instead of seeking a relationship at present.
This is the most anticlimactic.
You guys hyped it up. This was not me bringing up, my dating life. This was Jerry Odd and Levi. I blame them.
All right. So it's been a rough week for this segment of the show, by the way.
That's what I've heard.
Jesse was terrible all week long, frankly. The only time Whoa Nelly was good was when Strofe and Will Summers joined us from a George Webb in advance of victory number 12 to win the burgers. Otherwise, so just if I may, I think you need to understand our perspective here. Brian and Abby have been married a long time. Paula and I have been married a long time. We are both very lucky to have outkicked our coverage. We both have 2 great kids. We are very happy with our lives. And Brian, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm kind of going to do so anyway. Once you've reached a certain point in your life, you're not going to cheat on your wife, but you do live a little vicariously through the young guys who are out there, in the mix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to hear that I've deleted all the dating apps. I'm not doing anything now. I'm
working on myself.
All right.
So what does that mean? So what does that mean? Like working on yourself. Like what does that mean?
It's a good question. Mostly
he doesn't know because he just made that up.
Spending time at work and not going on dates. That's essentially what that means. But I will give you this. A friend of mine last week told me that her original date to a wedding bailed on her and invited me to come with her instead. So I will most likely be going to a wedding as a date in 2 weeks' time. I believe it's August 30th. First weekend of college football season, which it's going to be tough to miss that, but want to be there for my friends. So there's that. There's something for you. There's a little nugget.
Wait. She's already put you in the friend zone? Like it's already friend zoned?
Yeah.
I
was second choice. I don't think anything's going to come of this, but I wanted to give you guys something.
But if we appreciate you throwing us that bone of I'm going with a friend to a wedding.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that you can turn on the charm and maybe there's, are you? I don't know if she's an avid listener to the show, so I don't want to ruin your game.
I doubt it.
Well, it's pretty popular. But are you looking to maybe perhaps create a scenario where you show a different side of you and you maybe get an exit pass from the friend zone?
Not really. I'm not really seeking that out. But
no, you're working on yourself.
Exactly.
All right, I don't want to put extra pressure on you. You need to draw the winners here. We need to get to Feel Good Friday. But it's not. This is not just about you, Riley.
All right. You know what? Fine. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to
reinstall the app.
By the next time I fill in on this show, which I don't know when that'll be,
I'll be soon, I'm sure.
I'll go on one date. Book it. I'll go on one date at least.
Thank you for your service.
Of course.
We appreciate that. All right. Do you have the cheese fry helmet available?
No, I forgot to grab it, so I can do it during Feel Good Friday.
All right. Feel Good Friday to wrap up the week. Coming up next. I don't feel good about Will Riley. There was no information there whatsoever. Stick around through the commercial break, though. If you're on YouTube, you will see Riley Yauk in action. Not the forfeit win, but the actual win in his jiu-jitsu. We'll wrap up the show and wrap up the week with Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit?
All right. We are back on the air on YouTube, I believe.
Right.
Can you guys hear me? Just want to confirm.
Well, we can hear you. Tell us more about your dating.
Yeah.
No, let's see some jiu-jitsu, baby.
All right. So here is the video. Once I pull it up real quick. There it is. All right, here we go. I'm going to walk you through what's going on right here. So this is the last 3 minutes of the match. I'm currently on top. I took this dude down.
So you're in the white.
I'm in the white. He's in the black. And you can see this is
putting
more of a
foot on your back.
Yeah, this is a methodical match right here. I'm currently trapping his right leg with my two legs, trying to pass his guard because that's going to give me 3 points. As you can see, I just start slipping by. He starts squirming. Bang.
He starts squirming.
Yep. Got him wrapped up now.
It.
Yep, that's 3 points for me. Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Got to take his back.
Look at
That's
that.
what I'm going for. Now, circled around to the back. I'm feeling pretty good here. There's about 2 minutes left in the match. 5-0. I'm up. You can see my underwear now as my belt rolls up my gi jacket. Now I'm really trying to take his back here. He falls onto his right side. Securing him with a seatbelt grip. One arm, my right arm is over his shoulder. My left arm's coming up through underneath his arm. Got it locked up like that. He's turtling up, so he's keeping really tight. That's actually the name of the position. He's turtled up right now. He's keeping really close, so I can't get my legs on top of his legs. Now I roll over to the side. As you can see, my left leg is trying to creep in, sneak in, and push that out to gain... Well, I'd get 4 points if I can get control, and then really good setup for a submission. However, here I get too high. You can see my hips are way too high up on his lower back.
Uh-oh.
And now I'm in danger of falling over. He notices this. He tripods. He gets up, and now I'm falling off. Now I'm in trouble. My coach is yelling at me in the corner, "Your hips are too high. Your hips are too high. Get back." Which, at this point, I'm just hanging on for dear life. It's already too late for me. And now, bang, he ends up on top. He flips me over. Now he's trying to get my back. We got under a minute left, and he's looking to, steal the match from me. He's still...
Oh, my gosh.
No points. There's nothing for a reversal since he hasn't secured technically any position. But you can see his right leg is now inside of my right thigh.
That's in your junk.
Yeah. No, and he's got a nice high... back position here, but what you can't see in this video, my left elbow and left knee are like perfectly together right now. I'm battling that leg to make sure he doesn't get his position is 4 points, and now he's way too high. I notice he's too high. He's trying to choke me here with my gi, and I'm like, I just need to survive this choke attempt, and I'm going to win the match. Now
and you did.
Yep, he's trying to stretch me out, loses the choke. I end up on top. He's on bottom. You can see my coach clap there as he checks his phone. And now that will do it. The match is over. I am a 5-0 victor. Thank you for watching.
Wow, that was awesome. It's more wrestling than I thought.
Yes, lots
I was
of
expecting Danielson with the crane, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, not a lot of kicking, not a lot of punching, but very confident if I ever got taken down in a real fight that I would survive, even if I didn't win
impressed.
the fight.
Glad we did that.
Thank you. All right, that'll do it. We got 10 seconds left until Feel Good Friday. I got to get the cheese fry helmet.
All right.
Finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind, felt the weight. Try to live up to the say I am. Is it any wonder? Shame comes calling my first name. Is there any question?
Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. We'll do that quickly, and the Feel Good Friday for us. I know Tausch was not a fan of the story because it wasn't football-y enough, but it seems pretty football-y to me. Mark McNamee, the Irish import, Gaelic football player, one thing that Bryan Bulaga has not gotten into yet. He's more of the Premier League than the Gaelic Football League. But, hey, he's one of those guys keeping the NFL dream alive, and he's out there. He'll get some opportunities again tomorrow against the Colts. That's our Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Before we go, we need this week's trivia winner, Jiu-Jitsu Riley.
Yes, I have drawn. You could hear the cheese fry helmet, and our winner is none other than today's contestant, Sean in Waukesha. Congratulations.
Look at that.
Way to get that last one right, so you had a chance to win. You doubled your chances.
Yeah.
That's it for us today. Thanks to Bryan Bulaga for being an outstanding Cousin Sub of the Day. He'll join us again next week when we talk on Wednesday. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcast.